So one of the most requested videos on this channel since I started making Overwatch content was the McCree guide. So after 5 months, we finally get to it. There are 5 quick points that I have to talk about when it comes to playing McCree. They are positioning, aim, roll, fan the hammer, and high noon. Before I start to dive into all of the points, let me just say that I am by no means a pro McCree. I only play him at the master level, and you guys have probably seen videos like this maybe from some of the top 500 McCree players. You've seen aimbot Calvin play, you've seen IDDQD play. I'm not like them, so don't expect this video to be something like what they would say. I'm just telling you how I play McCree, and this is what's worked out for me and put me at master. So number 1, let's start with positioning. This is an easy one. Well, actually it's not easy, and it probably should be a 3-hour video on positioning alone, but we're gonna keep it simple down to 2 things. There are 2 things to keep in mind when it comes to positioning. Number 1, you should always have an out. Never commit yourself to the middle of the map or like the middle of a lane. I guess we'll talk about it in league terms. Never be in a spot where if somebody sees you, you're pretty much going to die. You should always have an out, somewhere where you can dive to cover, somewhere where your healers can't see you. You should always have an out. And the second one is you need to create opportunities to kill. We live in a world now where Reinhardt is not picked every game, so McCree's life is not as easy. How do you position yourself when you don't have a Reinhardt? Well, you have to force opportunities to kill. You need to create a situation where you can be somewhere to get free kills. I guess they're not really free since you worked really hard to get there, but this may involve a lot of flanking, a lot of playing the edges of the map, going unusual paths to force 1v1 situations. That's what you want to do as McCree, by the way. Force as many 1v1s as possible. You also want to be in a spot where you're not the target, because the second you're targeted, you're dead. You have really bad mobility. You're McCree. Please, don't let yourself become the target in a team fight. Now let's go ahead and move on to aim. Aim is going to be the easiest point in this entire video, because it comes down to this. If you hit your shots as McCree, play McCree. If you're not hitting your shots as McCree, don't play McCree. And that's all I have to say about that. McCree is a hero where his usefulness is going to be directly tied to your mechanical aim. If the only kills you can ever get are from flashbang, you should not be playing McCree. Also, I guess I can add one thing to aim. If you can hit headshots consistently, go for the headshots. But if you're not a consistent headshot aimer, and it's going to cause you to miss a few shots, go ahead and go for the body shots. Go for what you can consistently kill with. Now let's move on to the roll ability. So McCree's shift ability allows him to just roll out of the way, and then it also refills all of his ammo. You are hardly ever going to be using this to actually dodge a threat. Like if Tracer throws a bomb at you and you dodge out of the way, that's going to be one of the few cases you do it. Doomfist locks directly on you with his ultimate, and he's about to just jump on you and squash you like a bug. Go ahead and just roll out of the way. And this is going to be happening like 15-20% of the time. That's what you're going to be using his roll ability for. But the other like 80% of the time, you're going to be using it just to reload really fast to keep shooting. You're in a shootout with somebody, you get them down, like let's say it's a Roadhog, you get them down to like just 2 more shots and you don't want to wait to reload because he's about to get around the corner. Go ahead and just roll, get all of your ammo back, and finish him. That's what you're going to be using it for. During a team fight even, if you're not even under pressure, you have time to reload, still go for the shift and keep killing. That's what it's really going to be used for. Next, we're going to talk about fan the hammer. And I know some of you are already probably hurting and have already typed something in the comments saying, Nateson, you shouldn't fan the hammer after you use flashbang. I thought you were a good player. How could you? I'm unsubscribing. And let me just clear up some of the fog that has come over people's minds, and especially those that go on the lovely website known as Reddit. Reddit has told us that Fan the Hammer is a terrible ability that should never be used, and if you use it, you're a bad player. Well, all of that is completely false. Fan the Hammer is not as bad as everyone seems to think it is. And then the counter argument is, well, Nateson, why aren't the pros doing it then? Why do the pros always go for left clicks? And you're right. And here's where you have to draw the line. The top 0.5% of the player base that consistently hits headshots, they don't really miss any important shots. They're always consistent with their accuracy. Why do they need to fan the hammer? They don't. If you can consistently hit headshots, always left click. It's always going to be like that. But for the rest of us that don't have that god tier aim like aimbot Calvin or IDDQD, we are going to use fan the hammer because it's what's going to help us consistently kill. And this gameplay is video proof to when a Tracer comes at you and you flashbang, you can fan the hammer and kill her. Every single time. Even at a medium distance, you still kill her. People always say that it's the worst thing ever. It's not. Just let it be. I've already told you that I don't have god tier aim like some of the best players in the world. So I'm not going to try and force left-click headshots when I'm not exactly comfortable with flashbangs sometimes, and the fact that I throw the flashbang and when I hit the person, like let's say it's a soldier, their player model keeps flying to my side, and it's sometimes I'll miss that headshot just because the flashbang didn't completely make them stand still. Like their head will bobble really crazily, or their player model keeps flying, or a combination of the two. I'll use fan the hammer because it's a safe out. And yes, I started practicing my left clicks because I'm at the point where I really should start practicing that never miss a headshot type of flashbang kill. Don't be afraid to use fan the hammer. I used fan the hammer after flashbang up to master. It can't be that bad. And then next, we talk about his ultimate ability. It's high noon, 12 o'clock, even though it's 4:22 p.m. right now. McCree's high noon ability is one of the worst in the game. The second you use it, it's one of the most audible. No matter where you're at on a map, you can hear it, you can see it, you just know to be afraid. That's what makes it terrible. It also paints a huge target on your back. You're going to be killed if you're anywhere out in the open. It's almost suicide every time you hit Q. But that's not what you really should be using it for. You don't want to set yourself up for these 5-6 man ultimate abilities every single time, because it's just going to mean you're going to die. I look at high noon as a successful high noon if you get 2 kills even. You can even justify the 1 kill on a mercy that's really far away, but high noon is really good at just nailing 1 or 2, sometimes 3 happens on average a lot as well. Getting that many players is just fine. Don't keep setting yourself up for these epic high noon abilities, because it's just going to mean you die most of the time. 1 or 2 people is just fine. So this is all I have to say about the cowboy. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, I know this is one of the most requested videos, so I'm sorry it took me like 5 months to get prepared for it, but I just never felt ready back then. I didn't feel like I played McCree well enough, because I could play him at the master level, but I didn't feel like I was doing a lot of work. I just felt average with him, but now I feel like I'm starting to do a lot of work with him. So I felt like it was the perfect time to create this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys learned something. I hope maybe I can learn something as well. If some of you GM top 500 players want to add something in the comments, by all means, go ahead. And I love you all. We're about to hit 70,000 subscribers. We're 1 or 2 days away. Thank you guys so much. Have an amazing rest of the night. Take care, everybody. See ya.